We are live. How y'all doing? Welcome to another episode of Strictly Sports. I am B Wise.
Mallz. I'm driving right now, so you can't see me.
And I'm Trigga.
And welcome to another episode of Strictly Sports, where we are strictly sports sometimes, and we have our opinions most of the time. So, fellas, hold on. I wish I'd have made a graphic because I was gonna make the Mallz minute. So, you make it yet. But go ahead, Mallz. Hit your. We can improvise. Bam.
Miles message.
Oh, what happened? I heard somebody pop back in. Damn, he came out and came back in. All right.
Oh, was that me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. You good?
Yeah, what you
Okay.
got to say, bro?
Well, no, we was talking before we went live. Trick was talking about, why he's so upset. And I'm just sitting like, why are Cowboy fans so upset? What has Jerry Jones done in free agency that he hasn't done for the past 30 years? Like, when are we going to realize that ain't nothing going to change with this franchise? Just like that playoff woes, that free agency woes, it's going to be the same thing. But I was listening to somebody and they made an interesting point. Is it really worth signing these big time free agents and nothing? And or we spend a little money on here, on there, and we'll still be better because we ain't spend no money on free agents these past 3 years, and we still want to end up winning 12 games. So is it really detrimental that we're not signing these hot shot free agents?
Yep.
But that's all I wonder. But go ahead, Trigger.
All right. So before I get into it, I really got to ask y'all, man. When you hear somebody say all in, like we going all in, what is y'all's definition of all in? What comes to mind? Like, what do you picture? What do you see? What to you is the definition of all in? Like, honest question. I want y'all to tell me, like, when you hear that, what do you interpret that as?
Guns blazing. We going for it all like what the Rams did in 2021. We signing everybody. No matter how much
Forget
we
the
paying
salary
them,
cap. Forget the salary cap.
forget the salary cap, forget all that. We gonna break the bank. We going broke. We going for broke.
Kaka.
Okay. So that leads me into the point I want to make. So
You starting your
yesterday, yesterday I saw a stat, and going into the first day of free agency back on the 11th, which was Monday, um, there was four teams that I noted. It was more teams, but it was four teams I specifically noted that were in the negatives in the salary cap. Those teams were the Kansas City Chiefs, the Baltimore Ravens, the Los Angeles Chargers, and the Miami Dolphins. All four teams went out and signed and got players. Dolphins got guys. The Chargers went out and got Gus Edwards, who I would have loved in Dallas, by the way. I love the way he ran in Baltimore. He's also a big back, a big bulldozer. We definitely could have got him for cheap if Jerry didn't want to break the bank for Tony Pollard or Derrick Henry or Josh Jacobs, all these other backs that were going to be demanding a lot more money. But the Chargers went out and got him. I think that's a good get for them. The Chiefs, holy crap! Do you see the money they paid Chris Jones to bring him back after what they already gave Patrick Mahomes and others?
I did.
And then obviously the Baltimore
how much
Ravens went
was it?
out.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, I don't know the specifics, but it was a lot.
A lot.
And then the Baltimore Ravens obviously went out and signed Derrick Henry, who's a back that paired with Lamar Jackson. Their team that like to run the ball. That's going to be a matchup nightmare. Now, Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is a type of owner that says one thing, but his actions does another. Like he has contradicted himself in so many ways that I've lost count. But two of the things that he said that really bothered me are the fact that he's worried about his mortality, which means that he's desperate to win now. But the actions and the moves that he's not making in the front office don't mirror that. He also said a couple seasons ago, you don't know the size of check I would write to win another Lombardi. Really? Well, you had a chance to do that with Derrick Henry. or Josh Jacobs or Aaron Jones or Joe Mixon, Tony Pollard even, DeAndre Swift, Austin Eckler, all these running backs that were available when you knew we needed a running back. We needed somebody at the running back position to get us over the hump because our run game was not the way it was supposed to be this past season. We did not run the ball like we wanted to, and we couldn't. Because every time they turned around and handed the ball to Tony Pollard, he ran into a brick wall. Every single time. He had career lows and everything across the board. You can say the injury all you want. Tony Pollard is not a ground and pound, run between the tackles type back. He's just not built for it. Injury or not, I don't care. But Jerry Jones talk about writing the size of check he write to win another Lombardi. Well, he had a chance to put his money where his mouth was and do that with a Derrick Henry. All these other teams was under the cap and signed these players and made a way to get these players. The Cowboys is not on that list. If you really want to go out and get these guys, you can go out and get these guys. You can make room for them if you are all in. All in means going out and getting a player like a Derrick Henry or going and getting a stud receiver. Not always dependent on the draft. We're not about to go into this year's draft and find an offensive lineman, a defensive tackle, a star running back, guys who are going to come in and change life and blow the world away as rookies right off the bat. It's not going to happen. That's why you need to go out and get some veteran guys to come in and fill these holes that we had. This free agent class was the most stacked I've ever seen in an NFL free agency since ever. I've never seen so many running backs, defensive linemen, offense, like people of all positions available. And the Cowboys didn't sign any of them, knowing what we needed. We're losing players. We lost Dorrance Armstrong, Deontay Fowler, Tyler Biadasz to one team, to the Commanders. They got all of our defensive guys in our center. Likely not bringing Tyler Smith. Tyler. We're not bringing Tyron Smith back, more than likely. And we're probably going to lose Michael Gallup as well. They already gave him permission to seek a trade. And he's probably not going to get one because other teams knowing that Dallas is going to end up cutting him. And then they'll go pick him up for free without having to give up anything. I mean, it's just poor management all the way around. Like Jerry Jones says that he would write this check. He had a chance to do it, and he doesn't do it. Now he's talking about bargaining, not having enough money to get these players. Really? That don't mirror what you said about the size of check you write to win a Lombardi. Writing a check to win a Lombardi means going and paying these guys. These guys who are free agents, who are available, who are studs, are not going to come cheap. You get what you pay for. Jerry Jones like to make bargain basement deals, and you continue to get bargain basement results every single season. And you sit up in the skybox, scratching your head with that dumbass look on your face, wondering why the Cowboys getting bounced in the first round of the playoffs once again. I don't know. Maybe because you didn't go out and get anybody. You like your guys? I don't like our guys. You believe in your guys? I don't believe in our guys. We need to go outside and get guys and bring them in. You know why I find it funny that Bobby Wagner has also signed with the Washington Commanders? This man has been a free agent for the last 3 seasons. And all 3 times he passed on signing in Dallas. Dan Quinn leaves Dallas, and now he goes to play for him. Didn't play for him for 3 years, and he was the defensive coordinator in Dallas when he was available. But as soon as he goes to another team, now Bobby Wagner goes and signs with him. What does that tell you? That tells you everything you need to know about this organization. Nobody wants to, no one takes Dallas serious. Nobody's scared of the Cowboys. They think just because they got the star on the side of their helmet, that team's just going to come in and roll over and give them what they want. Absolutely not. These guys are coming in, they're trying to whip your ass every time they come into that stadium, especially when they come into Jerry World. They are trying to embarrass you and beat you down. See the Green Bay Packers game in the playoffs a couple months ago. Youngest team in the playoffs. You think they cared about that? You think they cared that they were the number 7 seed? They had to go on the road? They found out they was playing Dallas, man. Them guys they instantly got comfortable. Aaron Rodgers or not, them guys come into Dallas with a chip on their shoulder and they play football. and we just look clueless, like a deer in headlights, like our quarterback. Don't even get me started on him. And we got a messy quarterback situation as it is. I guess Jerry's idea of all in was going in to this season without paying Dak. So now what happens? Dak goes into this year. He plays bad. He walks. Now we're essentially rebuilding the team. And I know Jerry Jones is not a fan of a rebuild if he's talking about his mortality. Again, what he says contradicts what he means. He worried about his mortality, yet we're on the brink, possibly, of a rebuild. The Dallas Cowboys have holes all over this team right now. We are not a championship team right now. Every team in our division got better over the last couple of days. The Giants went out and signed players. They got Devin Singletary at running back. The Commanders, they signed a list of players. Got Austin Eckler as running back. They got the second pick in the draft on top of that, which are probably going to take Drake May or Jaden Daniels at the quarterback position. The Washington Commanders are going to be a tough out next season based off the talent that they've signed. The Philadelphia Eagles, Lord have mercy. Do I even need to get started about how they are always getting guys? It was no shock, no surprise to me at all that they landed Saquon Barkley. No surprise at all. So now we got to deal with.
I ain't talking.
Jalen
They got
Hurts.
Saquon.
We got to deal with Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, that offensive line, and they went out and they also signed C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who did a phenomenal job in Detroit last year. It's part of the reason why they went as far as they did. He's back in Philly. Like, we got to contend with this next season.
Hey, I was saying when I was muted, Washington got Frankie Louvu and Jeremy Chin too.
Yes.
On top of top of Bobby Wagner.
Yes. That's why I said Washington and Philly are going to be on our radar next year, and I wouldn't be surprised if they went 0-4 in those 4 games against those two teams.
And
we
you know
might
what's crazy?
with the Giants.
They don't have to take a quarterback that early. They could trade back and get a Bo Nix in the late first round.
They could, but I think they're going to keep their second pick and pick a franchise guy, somebody they can finally get in there and get behind. Because the last several years, they've been pretty much winging it with, Taylor Heineke and then Sam Howell. And I know those guys, when they came in, we already said that these guys ain't the future. Like they had a couple good games, good enough to be a starter there, but we all knew in the back of our minds that them two guys would not be the future of that franchise. Like Taylor Heineke is backing up Kirk Cousins now in Atlanta. And Sam Howell's going to be backing up whoever they draft in the first round. So the Commanders going to go out and they're going to find their guy. Hopefully they get their guy. They got Dan Quinn in there. They made they got a bunch of players on defense, added a bunch of players on offense. And then the Eagles, they got Vic Fangio, defensive coordinator. They got Kellen Moore as the offense. You see, this might arguably be the best offensive group Kellen Moore has had. And he's had some talented ones in Dallas. But this group he has in Philly, Saquon Barkley, and Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, they're up there.
You got to replace Jason Kelce.
I ain't worried about that.
You should worry about that. Well, it is a good center draft. It's a good center draft, actually, right? And free agent.
I trust the Eagles to find a center. I trust the Eagles to find a center. They'll be all right.
Yeah, this was the Zach Frazier.
You know who's not going to be all right?
Zach
the
Frazier.
Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys are going to be all right. We're winning 7 games next year. We might go down to 4 if we don't do nothing with these draft picks. But I got them winning between 4 to 7 games next season. We got the number 1 schedule because we won first place in the division, so we got to play all the number 1 teams and all the other divisions.
Yeah, play Carolina.
we got to play against Baltimore. We got to go against Derrick Henry. Like, the thing that pissed me off with Dallas is everybody around them has gotten better. The Green Bay Packers went out and got Josh Jacobs and cut Aaron Jones. And Aaron Jones then went and signed with the Vikings, another NFC team. The Atlanta Falcons, Kirk Cousins, you say what you want about him. I know he's coming off injury. He got the bag. This man, he's put up numbers. He ain't won much, but he puts up the numbers. And
I ain't worried about it. We almost beat Kurt last year.
We
almost beat him last year with Justin Jefferson.
That team that he has around him in Atlanta, I'm just saying, be on the lookout.
Carolina.
Be on the lookout. You
Carolina
got to respect
on top.
him. I think Carolina will be better. I think Tampa Bay, I told y'all that they were going to try to re-sign. They were going to try to re-sign Baker and Mike Evans, and they did. So they're back, and they're looking to do what they did this season, make it to the playoffs, and hopefully advance again. So they're still going to be tough.
And Detroit.
I'm kind of up in the air with them. I don't know.
And Detroit got a good
Detroit's still
cornerback.
gonna be there.
They got a good cornerback from Tampa.
Detroit's still gonna be in the mix. All the
Hey,
teams in the NFC. The NFC is going to be tough next season. And Dallas is gonna be standing pat. Well, we like our guys. We like who we have. Okay, you like who you have. We're gonna start Deuce Vaughn at running back. Huh? You gonna go sign Rico Dowdle and pull him at RB1? Huh? I tell you what Dallas is gonna do. They're gonna go in the draft. They're gonna draft their next start running back. Hopefully, it's Jonathan Brooks from Texas. If not, I do
ooh,
like Braylon Allen from Nebraska.
Braylon Allen, and he's lightly
He
used.
is a big dude. He is the biggest back in this draft from what I saw.
Yeah, a
6'2",
thousand yards, a thousand yards
6'2",
freshman season.
6'2", 245. He is the bulldozer that we need.
Yeah,
So I will not be mad at that. But if you want to go and sign a running back in the draft, make sure it's one of them two guys at least. And then maybe go pick up a veteran. Kareem Hunt's still out there. A.J. Dillon, I heard, had interest in Dallas and in the Colts. And he also has interest in the Giants. I think Dallas is the only team we could probably go to and start if we don't draft a running back early. But because they got Devin Singletary starting in New York, and then he'd be playing behind Jonathan Taylor in Indianapolis if he goes there. But he reportedly is interested in signing with one of those three teams: the Cowboys, the Colts, and the Giants. It's probably gonna be one of the other two. I'm not getting my hopes up, but I do like A.J. Dillon, dude. I watched him play several games at Green Bay. He is hard to tackle. I've never seen a backup back like him break so many tackles. Like he's a big dude. He's not tall as Derrick Henry, but he's a bulldozer. He can get between the tackles and he can get yards after he gets past the line of scrimmage. Because dudes, for whatever reason, just tend to bounce off of him when he's running. Like he is hard to get to the ground.
And just to let
But
you know,
I do like A.J. Dillon. If they sign A.J. Dillon, they go get a Jonathan Brooks, or they go get another back out the draft, I would be okay with that.
and just to let you know, Trigga, I would say A.J. Dillon is better than Derrick Henry because he's shorter. You don't want a tall running back.
Yeah, that's why I say he ain't got the height as Derrick Henry, but he do got the size.
Yeah.
He can get between the tackles. So I would like that signing. I would feel more comfortable if they got him and they went and got another rookie running back to pair with him. He can kind of be the bulldozer that we didn't have last year, and whatever back we get, like I said, a lot of them are like 6 feet, and they're like 210, 205, somewhere in there. But A.J. Dillon is a bulldozer.
This draft, y'all may be able to get two running backs. I mean, especially with how receivers and everything else is going to go. You could get a running back at the end of the first round and then double back in the third round and get you another one, like you said, like a Trey Benson or
I don't think they're picking
estimate.
24. So they're going to probably go offensive lineman or defensive tackle before they pick up the running back. The running back pick is probably going to come early second round, if I had to guess.
Hey, it could be a Mozzie Smith moment. You don't.
They might draft somebody completely out the blue like they did Mozzie Smith. The Mozzie Smith pick did come out of nowhere because they had like 3 or 4 guys that Dallas could have taken, and then Mozzie Smith popped up and was like, "Who is this guy?" ESPN. Nobody was prepared for that. So Dallas, same thing when they drafted Leighton Vander Esch. Nobody knew who he was either. And he was a first round pick.
Yeah.
So Dallas drafted him, and they were like, "Who is this guy?" But granted, he did come in. He made an impact until he started.
And then they got the Sean Lee syndrome.
Now he about to retire early because of his neck issues.
Yeah, I'm about to get Peyton Wilson. Y'all getting Peyton Wilson at number 24.
I don't know. I just hope that we address somebody in a position of need. Offensive line, defensive tackle, linebacker, somebody in the first round that's going to come in right away and fill in one of those holes that we have on the line.
Speaking of
Bobby, that's why I wish they would have went out and got Bobby Wagner. But Bobby Wagner.
Speaking of filling in the holes for the line, Carolina Panthers going out spending $150 million on their line for their quarterback.
They might win more games than the Cowboys next season.
We spent $100. Robert Hunt. I like Robert Hunt. Played with Tua. Same type of quarterback as Bryce. Damian Lewis. He knows Dan Morgan. He knows Dave Canales. And they both Mallz. They bring in the attitude. Then we make the trade for Deontay Johnson. Come on, Trigga. I got Deontay Johnson. I traded Brian Burns.
Y'all got potential.
I traded Brian Burns. What's that? $24 million off the books. I got a second in the 5th round. So I got an extra second. I got 33 and 39, I believe. Or 33 and 47. One of them, I think it's 33 and 39 actually though. So we got two high picks in the second round. What I'm happy about. We go get our receiver, go get a cornerback, or go get an edge rusher, Chop Robinson and Keon Coleman. Um, we cut Von Bell. Dante's gone. Brian Burns is gone. Like I said, Frankie's gone. But we got Chase Young coming in tomorrow. Jadavion Clowney's coming
Is he
in.
working? Is he interviewing with y'all or something?
Yeah, they both coming in. They both
Okay,
coming in for visits.
that might be big. That
Chase
would be
Young.
big.
I'll take a
Yeah,
Chase Young. It's the especially got something to prove. We got
yeah, absolutely.
Dane Jackson from the Bills. We got him as a cornerback. Um, what else did Carolina do? Dane Jackson. We got Amir Smith Marset. We got Josie Jewell from the Broncos, and then Ashawn Robinson, and then we re-signed Troy Hill. So everybody been saying they don't see Carolina playing, but I see Carolina playing, and we talked about it here. You got to have guard. Bryce needs guards more than he needs tackles. But Carolina luckily has tackles that's going to benefit from better guard play. So what they're saying we're going to do is we're going to do Robert Hunt at right, Damian Lewis at left guard, and move Austin Corbett to center. So if Austin Corbett can get center down, who is a great right guard and knows how to move with the guards, and you got two solid guards, and then you have tackles that I think Icky's gonna get it back together, and then Taylor Moden, I don't worry about him. I think we got some. I think we got some. Miles Sanders come back, Chuba, Deontay Johnson, Adam Thielen, and we got 33 and 39. We might double dip. Oh my god, sorry. Double dip.
Whoa,
Double dip.
whoa,
Pause that.
whoa,
Pause that.
whoa! Hey, easy there, big fella. Easy,
Oh,
easy.
excuse me.
We're
We
talking
made
double.
double
Oh,
dip there.
man, what you thinking about over there?
Hey, pause that. Pause that. Hey, we may double dip. I mean, we may go get a Keon Coleman and a Troy Franklin, or a Keon Coleman and an Xavier Worthy. So I
I
think
really like the receivers in this year's draft, man. I really
yeah,
do. I hope Dallas can find a way to get one of them because we do need. That's another position of
24
need
yard a
that
good
we
spot.
have.
24 a good spot for one.
I know it is, but I mean, I feel like if we drafted in that spot, man, we got to take care of the line first. As much as we might want a running back, we might want a receiver. Like we got to draft the offensive lineman or a defensive lineman first. Somebody to stop the run or somebody to protect our quarterback. I think those positions are a little bit more important right now. However, like the CeeDee Lamb, incident, how he just fell into our lap. If we get a player of that caliber at the receiver or running back position, more so probably the receiver position, the running back. I don't see any running backs going in the first round this year, honestly. But if we get one of those receivers, it's on the board at number 24.
It's gonna be tough. Y'all in a tough spot, Trick, because y'all gonna have linemen, y'all gonna have receivers, y'all gonna have cornerbacks,
And
y'all gonna have everything on the board.
luckily, this draft is deep with offensive linemen and receivers.
Because the
You know,
quarterbacks and big receivers going first. Quarterbacks and the Marvin Harrison Juniors and all that, they're
right,
going first.
right.
And then, like you said, the big
and
edge rushers, the big linemen, cornerbacks, D tackles, they're gonna start going too. And then you're gonna have your surprise picks, the Bo Nix that goes at 21 and stuff like that. So y'all in a good spot. I'm worried. Are y'all gonna be the same old Dallas and draft a Mozzie Smith when you had Keon Coleman, Troy Franklin, Xavier Worthy, Lad McConkey?
it
Uh,
would not surprise me if they did do something like that. But they've done it a couple times now, that I can remember. But it's nothing ever changed with this team, man. After that loss to the Green Bay in the playoffs,
oh my
and
goodness.
Jerry went on there and said, "We're going all in." I finally felt like, man, finally Jerry's upset. Finally he's mad. Finally he's got something in him to want to go out and do something different. Because the Cowboys have been doing the same thing over and over and over again. Like Mallz was saying earlier, 30 years of the same thing. Like you look up the definition of insanity, the Cowboys logo was sitting right there. These are the only guys that go out there and actually believe that doing the same thing over and over and over again is going to give them different results. Well, how about you do something different this time? And then you get different results. You get more desirable results. It's like I said earlier, y'all like to make bargain basement deals after all the big time free agents have been signed. Y'all want to go and find players who are coming off injury or guys who are washed up or guys who ain't played in the league in 4 or 5 years. See Martavius Bryant, Randy Gregory, you could argue, and who was other Alden Smith. All these guys who ain't played in a while, you want to go and make them a project. That's the type of stuff that we do. And then we get in the playoffs, and we wonder why we don't ever go any further than we do. I'm telling you, man, Dallas bargain basement deals equals bargain basement results. You get what you pay for.
But
You
y'all don't
get what
have
you don't pay for.
y'all don't have bargain basement results though, because y'all winning. But y'all just not
We
winning when
win
it
it in the
counts.
regular season. There you go. There you go.
Like, so that's
We
how it
win.
can be
We win
tolerated
all the
more.
games we won in the regular season, but it don't amount to anything if we don't get a NFC Championship appearance or a Super Bowl appearance behind that. This team has not even got past the divisional round in 30 years. What the Big D stand for? Big disappointment.
Big divisional round.
Divisional round. That's right, because we ain't going
Big
past the
division.
divisional round. What is up? What Big D? Delusional. Jerry Jones, delusional. And let me tell you something else, man.
Cowboy fans are delusional.
We talk about this Cowboys culture. It starts at the top with Jerry Jones and the ownership, and it trickles down to the players. When Jerry is saying things like going all in, when his words say one thing, when his actions don't match, everybody else absorbs that energy. The coaches, the players, you see it on the field. They go out there. Jerry Jones says things that are inconsistent. And what do we get from the Dallas Cowboys? Inconsistent play. Dak Prescott's playing great one week. The next week, he freaking sucks. And there's night and day difference between how he plays sometimes. I can't wrap my head around it.
It's the
But
same
that's
old
how the
Dallas Cowboys,
organization is.
man.
But
That's what they say.
What are the three things that I say about this Cowboys team that breeds a good culture? Commitment, consistency, and discipline. Our owner has no consistency when it comes to promising the fans that they're going to do something different or do something better, and they do the same
I
old
beg to
thing
differ,
that
Trigger.
they've been
I
doing.
beg to
They've
differ.
been
That's
doing. They've
consistency.
been doing.
Y'all consistently do the same old thing over and over again. That's consistency.
Consistently inconsistent. If you want to be technical, yes, you are
You are
absolutely
consistent.
right. They are
8-8.
consistently inconsistent.
Consistently
Yes,
divisional
Jason
round.
Garrett consistently going 8-8, consistently not
Yeah.
going past the divisional round. You are absolutely right.
Y'all are the poster child of consistency.
Yeah, with all the wrong things. You are
Fans,
absolutely right.
thoughts,
Absolutely right.
everything. Consistency.
Commitment. Jerry Jones talks about Dak's our guy. Dak's our guy. Yet this man is walking to a season with no contract in hand, no new contract. You believe
That
in
would have
Dak.
saved y'all on the cap.
He'll take us as far as we want to take us.
That would have
But
saved
you
y'all on
ain't
the
signed
cap.
him yet. You ain't signed him yet. Okay. So we're talking about commitment here. And same thing with Mike McCarthy. He's going into a contract year. Now, I understand why Jerry's doing it, but at the same time, if you believe that he's your guy that came and slept over at your house and had dinner with your family and all this stuff when you hired him, the man who lied to get the job, if that's who you believe in, show him that you committed with him. But there's no commitment. No commitment, no consistency. And don't even get me started on discipline. There's no discipline with anybody on this team. None. All these players are speaking out and their family members can't stay out the media saying stuff about the team, keeping this drama going. And poor Dak, he battling a lawsuit right now. Somebody's trying to exploit him. Got that going on. Jerry
Hold on,
Jones
what
got his
happened?
court issues going on. You hear about that?
Uh-uh.
Some woman trying to extort Dak out of $100 million.
Oh,
For what?
Lord.
Yeah, he's countersuing her, trying to say that he sexually assaulted her years ago.
Oh, wow.
But Dak said it was a plot to extort money from him, so he's suing him now. So he's got that going on. And then Jerry just got his he just went back to court and got something tossed out in court about a defamation lawsuit, got tossed out for the second time behind him. So we in the news for all the wrong reasons right now. We ain't signed nobody in free agency. Oh, I'll take that back. We signed Eric Kendricks about an hour before this podcast started. From the Chargers, Eric Kendricks.
Oh, don't forget, we re-signed our long snapper though.
Hey,
We did too. JJ Jensen,
worried.
longest tenured Panther, 16 years.
Mallz, I was so fucking worried about that long snapper. I didn't know what so thank God the Cowboys re-signed their long snapper. Man, I was fucking worried about that.
Hey,
I didn't know what the hell I was gonna do. We're a Super Bowl contending team now. We brought our long snapper
every
back.
year. Every year.
We would have brought a long snapper back. That done put us over the edge.
Hey, but back to my thing. We got pick 33, pick 39, pick 65, pick 101, pick 142, 41 and 42, and pick 240.
Hey, what y'all gonna do with them?
Hey, because you could take 33, look at the board, how it's falling, and be like, hey, I could pick something up and I could trade back. Or I'll double dip a receiver. I would go get whichever big receiver falls at 33, and then whichever receiver doesn't get picked up after that, or whichever edge is a bit. Well, it depends. Because if I get a Chase Young, a Jadeveon Clowney, and a DJ Wanham from the Vikings, if I get 2 or 3 of those, then I could double dip a receiver at 33 and 39 and get 2 good receivers and then build up everything else I need to build up at 65. Well, actually, I can get a good center at 33 or 39 too. If Zach Frazier's there at 33, or, well, it's like y'all. It's just so much that could happen right there. It depends on how everything else goes. But
Yeah, it's almost a gift and a curse. I wish we didn't have so many
yes,
needs. I wish we had like one or two, but it's so many needs that we have to have. And again, I like the fact that the Cowboys like to go through the draft and try to build guys and make them homegrown. But again, I think the differences between those teams that won the Super Bowls in the '90s, they went out and found outside guys to bring
yeah,
in. After they drafted Troy, after they drafted Emmett, they drafted Michael. They went out and got a Charles Haley. They went out and got a Deion Sanders. These guys were difference makers. They were the differences in us winning Super Bowls, and that formula worked. And for whatever reason,
I'll be
after
right
all
back.
these years, Jerry does not want to go outside and bring guys in to try to, game changes. Yeah, he went and got Stephon Gilmore, but Stephon Gilmore ain't the same defender that he was, a few years ago. Still a solid defender nonetheless, but he wasn't the Stephon Gilmore that was, defensive player of the year, a few years prior. They went and got Brandon Cooks, who's, you know, he's got a lot of tread on the tires. I wouldn't necessarily call him a receiver that's a game changer. You know, he's a guy who come in and make a nice fit and can do some things, do some damage. But he's no, DeAndre Hopkins. He's no Mike Evans. He's no Stephon Diggs, no Justin Jefferson. He's not one of those type of guys. I wish we had a Amari Cooper still and CeeDee Lamb, the two number one receivers playing next to each other. But again, it's Dallas. They're not thinking like that. They're not
That's
trying to move like that.
that's why I think in the draft trigger, y'all can go out there and get y'all another number one at y'all
Yeah, we
spot.
can.
Like,
I just, like I said, I just hope that they're there when it's time for us to pick them because we do have
well, it's
other
gonna be one
needs.
there. It's gonna be one there.
We have other needs that we have to address first with the first couple of picks before we can think about a receiver. I think.
No,
But
you know why?
but
You know why I say that? Because you're at the spot that you may lose CD and Dak because you got to pay both of them. Why not go get a replacement for if I have to keep Dak
they can pay both
or
of them and keep both of them guys.
with paying Micah with Trayvon's contract hidden too?
Yeah, they'll be able to resign and pay Dak and all them guys. I guarantee you, if they want to keep them,
Micah's
they'll
getting
keep them together.
40
They're
million.
not. They're not going to lose Amari Cooper and turn around and lose CeeDee Lamb 2-3 years later. That's
Micah
not
getting
happening.
40 million, Trigger. I hope you know. 40 million of your cap is going to that defensive end.
All right. Well, they better make it all work
Dak
out.
Dak is getting 50. So that's 90. CD going to want 25. So if you keep going, your offensive line, everything, you're not going to be able to hold everything that y'all got together. The Stephon Gilmore's and
Well, that's the reason why they got
Gilmore's,
rid of.
Gilmore.
That's the reason why they let Tyler Biadasz walk, and they're about to let Tyron Smith walk. They're gonna get two rookies into those positions, so
And
they ain't got
this,
to pay a whole lot. But that would have been, two deals right there. We would have had to make to keep them guys, and that definitely would have been costly because the offensive line. I know they're not the sexiest, but they do take up a lot of the team's cap space. They're very important for
so
team success.
y'all been beating around. Who y'all wanted 24? Give me a name.
Give me Mims from Georgia.
Who? Mims?
Mims from Georgia,
Okay.
the offensive lineman.
Remington
Come
Jennings
in.
from Hurts.
Oh my gosh.
This is Spider's 14th time being taken in the
I
first
will
round.
be, I will be, I will be ecstatic. I will be ecstatic if we get the Georgia Bulldog with the first pick at 24. Hopefully he's still on the board. They got him projected as being around that late in the first round for Dallas to possibly have a chance to pick him up. So we'll see. But yeah, I like him at that first pick. That will go a long way in getting this team's offensive line back to where it needs to be.
It don't matter who we get. It's gonna be same play, new players, same results. It don't matter to me anymore. I didn't give up hope 2 years ago.
Oh, don't give up
I
hope.
understand. I understand.
Don't give up hope.
And as
That
crazy as it
playoff
might
loss,
sound,
that
the
first
fact that
playoff loss to San Francisco, that's when I gave up. So to me, it don't matter.
I
I'm rooting,
understand your
I'm rooting,
pain, but
I'm
even
rooting for.
with Dallas not signing nobody, I still think that they can. There's still guys out there they can get. And it's going to be like just like the free agency class was deep. This draft's going to be deep with players that position of need that we have to have too. So there's going to be a lot of offensive linemen. There's going to be a lot of centers. There's going to be a lot of running backs, wide receivers. We need all of them. So my hope is yes, it's deep with those positions that we need. Like I said earlier, I don't think those guys are going to come in. They're all going to be, all world players. But maybe in a few years they will be. Because Jerry want to rebuild, even though he's talking about his mortality. I mean, they contradict each other, but I'm just looking at what they're doing. I'm trying to pay less attention to what they're saying
All right.
nowadays.
Can y'all see the screen? All right, Trigger. You on the clock. What you doing, Trigger?
I already
Set?
told you what I'm thinking.
I'm talking about. You got trade off on the screen right now. You gonna take that trade off, or you gonna go to the next one? Reject.
I'm not gonna take that trade.
Pick 31 and 63 for pick 24 and 174.
Hold on, say that again.
Yeah, I'll probably make that deal.
Or you got pick 26 and 246 for 24. Or you got pick 25 and 126 for 24.
Nah, I would just keep that point.
You don't want to go backwards?
Mm-mm.
You want that 63. You want that 63.
Yeah, we're going backwards just a few spots to 31. I'm okay with that. And we picked a lot sooner than 174 with that 63rd pick. So, again, it'll still be offensive linemen available at 31. Might not be the one I want, but it'll still be
Or
a
do
good
you want to
one.
just go get your lineman now if he on the board? You got tackles? Or you want a guard?
No. Left tackle. Left tackle is the second most important position in football. Give me the left tackle.
Tyler
Yep.
Guyton,
I guess.
Oklahoma.
Quarterback, left tackle, wide receiver, cornerback. Four most important positions in football. Shutdown cornerback.
Tyler Guyton is the highest rated one on this draft.
Well, is he gonna last to 24?
In this mock draft, he didn't last. Y'all got him. All right, why is it going so slow?
But look, fellas, I'm about to hop in the shower, so I'm gonna have to cut this thing a little short. But Trey, you keep doing what you're doing, brother. Don't let these Cowboys stress you. They don't stress me no more. I
ain't stressed out. I'm just speaking the truth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do nothing. Every year we buying Jared with this false advertisement, and I don't feel like it was gonna be different this time because of what he said. All in, I felt like he was just as mad as we were after that playoff game.
Drinking the Kool-Aid.
I'm just like, okay, finally he gonna go do something.
Trey,
He did nothing.
He's mad after every playoff loss.
No,
He said stuff.
no.
He said stuff for the highlight.
This was a little different than before. Like before, I expected them not to do anything. I wasn't surprised they didn't do nothing in free agency last year, the year before that, the year before that. But this year, I felt like it was going to be different because one, the free agent class is going to be so deep with a bunch of studs out there on the market, like wide receivers, offensive linemen, defensive players, running backs, especially after the year we had with our run game. And what he said, everything was like, I could see it was only going to be like a few guys that was going to be available, and everybody else was going to be like bench players or guys, just that really didn't make an impact, backups and stuff like that. But there were a bunch of stars stars, superstars that were in free agency up for grabs.
Mm.
You know, at a lot of different positions that we needed to fill. That's why I felt like, he said he was going all in. He was anticipating that. And he was going to go and get like 2 or 3 of those guys, maybe. A running back, a wide receiver, a defensive lineman, somebody put on the offensive line, and, that be it. And then go in the draft and, bring in these rookie guys to play around them. That's what I thought was going to happen. That looked like all in to me.
Yeah.
So that's why I say I believe Jerry when he said we were going all in, because it was like, the pain of that loss. It was so embarrassing. It was so bad. It was worse than any playoff loss that the Cowboys have endured in the history of their franchise. No one can argue that. I'm sorry.
No. I can argue.
That was embarrassing. That was embarrassing.
I can argue that.
Given the setup, Dallas Cowboys were terrible on the road. The Philadelphia Eagles nosedived and gave us a division, gave us a number 2 seed, gave us 2 guaranteed home games, a place where we were undefeated for 2 seasons. We had a road cut out to the NFC Championship. And for us to go out in the first round at home,
And get beat
the youngest
and
team
beat.
in football, and not lose the game, but get our asses whipped from front to back, is embarrassing. It's embarrassing. It is the most embarrassing loss that the Cowboys have endured as a franchise. I'm sorry. Nothing else will compare to that. It will not. I don't give a damn about Dez not catching the ball. I don't care about Tony Romo fumbling the snap. I don't care about any of that. This loss was the worst one given the circumstances surrounding it. The worst one. So Jerry had every right to be upset because we had a team that was good enough to get to the NFC Championship and to a Super Bowl. I don't think that's arguable. I think everyone think on paper, the way the Cowboys played, they had a team that was good enough. The defense had, they'd done pretty well throughout most of the season. The offense was running pretty well besides our run game. But even then, we were still putting up numbers. So the Cowboys losing to the Packers and Jerry Jones coming in saying we're going all in. It made it sound different because of the way everything played out. And then free agency coming up. All these big names are going to be available. The Cowboys got their asses whipped in the playoffs. We're going to have a bunch of guys we can come in and bring in. We're going to get some games.
Y'all ain't got no money. Y'all ain't got no money.
Neither did the other teams, and they still signed. The Eagles never got money. They landed Saquon Barkley and paid this man $13,000 a year, or however much they paid above $10 million.
Hey, Brant Tiller's out here cooking because these contracts, I'm like, boy, you cold blood. These like 3-year rentals, money like it's. Whoo.
Hey, but look, fellas, I'm about
see
to
what
head
Tad
on
Prescott
out.
said.
All right, brother.
You know what you're doing.
Yes, sir.
All right.
You see what Tad Prescott said about the Eagles.
Who was that?
Best front office in the game, Dak's brother. After they signed Saquon Barkley, that man went on Twitter and was like, or X, whatever you call it now, and he said that the Philadelphia Eagles have the best front office in football. I mean, those weren't his exact words, but I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
But he pretty much said the Philadelphia Eagles front office is the best in football. And I mean, I can't blame him for thinking that because every time I turn around, they're signing somebody. They're not just somebody. They're going after guys who could come in and be game changers. They went and got Saquon. The Eagles were listed on the list of teams that were interested in Saquon.
He could have went to Houston.
But
and
they were like 4th and 5th on that list in terms of the odds of Saquon Barkley landing there. Because Houston was at the top of that list. Baltimore was on there. Somebody else that was on there too that was that I pictured him going. But I forget. But Dallas and Philly were on that list, but they were towards the bottom. And the Giants were the last team on that list because the last team he'd go to. But yeah,
Houston,
I figured Houston would be where he will go. Like Houston or
Houston, the best team in Texas. They got Danielle Hunter. Houston got Danielle Hunter to replace Grenard. I forgot his name. On the other side of Will Anderson.
They went and got Joe Mixon. And
Mm,
Damian Pierce is still there. He
mm.
had his moments early in the season last year. So like Joe Mixon, Damian Pierce, you know, I like that duo. Daniil Hunter, which was a guy they were rumored that Dallas, you know, they attached his name to Dallas, given the Mike Zimmer connection when he played in Minnesota and Mike Zimmer was a coach there. Of course, that didn't happen. I feel like every time the free agent, they always attach Dallas's name to it, and they never come close to signing these guys. Like, stop. Media's got to stop. The sports media has to stop attaching these players to us. It's not happening. It's not happening.
It may be. I don't think. I think it could be happening. It could be some of it's fallacy, but I think some of it could be happening. And maybe stuff just falls apart, or
When
maybe
it
it's
falls, it does.
maybe
It
it's a
happens
shot
way
out in the
too
dark
much.
for each other. Like, hey, maybe it's Dallas. Like, hey, I'm open to talking, and maybe it's the player. Like, hey, I'm open to talking. Like,
They always open to talk, and they don't never do nothing. They don't never bring in guys that could potentially change life for us. You know.
oh, and the Giants got Brian Burns now too.
Yeah. When I said literally every team in the NFC East got
Mm,
better than Dallas in free agency, they did. Dallas
mm,
stood pat. All Dallas did was lose players and re-sign their long
mm,
snapper. That's gonna
mm.
get it. That's
Y'all got
gonna get
most
it
of the
next year,
Panthers
I think.
defense over there in the NFC East now.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. But again, these other teams got better. Philly got better. Washington got way better. The Giants got somewhat better. Everybody did something to improve their roster except Dallas. We just lost a bunch of players. We lost half of our defense to the Commanders, including our defensive coordinator. He done took all our guys with him, including one of
And
our coaches and our center is now going to be over in Washington.
and this is what's scary. Kellen Moore know y'all. Dan
Yes,
Quinn know y'all. Philly got y'all ticket.
that's why I say, man, this team will probably be lucky if they win 7 games next season. Given the
Jerry.
strength of the schedule that we got to play against too,
Yeah, y'all
they
playing
didn't even
Carolina
count
in
the teams.
Carolina.
They didn't even count the teams in our division because our teams in our division weren't great last season. Except for maybe the Eagles, but even the Eagles fell off a cliff at the end of the season last year. But still, the teams in our division are going to give us a run. We're not going to go 6-0 against the division. We might go 3-3, but we probably win 7 games next year, somewhere
I
between
think
7 and 10 games next season,
I think
given
this
the
NFL
schedule in our
season is gonna
division.
be gritty. It's gonna be real. I think it's gonna be real competitive. I mean, I think it's gonna be teams winning and I don't think it's well. I say that, but I don't think it's gonna be no undefeated teams going into week 10 or anything like that. I think it's gonna be really going into the last weeks of the season because the NFL is trying to get the competition. But look at all the safeties they got released. I feel like every team released their safeties and nobody's picking them up. It seems like, I mean, we got Jordan Fuller coming in, but that's because he knows EJ. EJ is building his system, and I don't know. I like it. If JC can stay healthy, we get us a cornerback in the draft trigger. And that Dallas Carolina game might be a fun game. But I
Well, I
also,
guarantee you, it'll be a lot more interesting than it was last season.
I mean, we know that because Carolina gonna win. But I think that
They
Carolina
probably will.
they getting rid of
They
the
probably should have
excuses.
won last season.
But yeah, if we wouldn't have got those penalties and all those personal fouls and stuff, I think it'd have been closer. But I've been rewatching the season. Week 1 through 4 is what I got through so far. We weren't as bad as we looked. Like it wasn't like we were getting blown. I haven't got to Miami and Detroit and all the blowouts really, but I mean we were in games until the end of it. I mean, the only reason the Minnesota Vikings beat us, and that's why I'm not worried about Kirk Cousins, is the scoop and score. If Bryce doesn't have that scoop and score, we win that game by 6 points. All they were doing was
Hmm.
kicking Seattle. All they was doing was kicking field goals, field goals, field goals, and then they broke it open. So
Hmm.
that's what I like about EJ's defense. He likes to give it to the defensive back. I don't need to really have a pass rush. I just need set the edge in the run. If you get to the quarterback, that's great. But I'm gonna have my shell to where these guys can cover and they know their assignments. They play where they play. They be where they're supposed to be. And then you got a JC to where when you want to do man, to where you can put them on the best receiver there is. And just watching JC play Olave in that game last year, and he didn't panic. I watched CJ Henderson do the same thing. He panicked. He was like, "Oh my God, what do I do with my hand?" JC was so
Hmm.
smooth, his hips. He was like, "All right, I'm beat. Let me stick my hand in here ever so gently and just tip the ball." And it's just looking at football more, you can be like, all right, I can see why some people move off from players, but I can also see after injuries and different things like that. So
Hmm.
I said that to say Carolina, 8 wins. 8 wins. We beaten Kansas City and Germany too.
Well, y'all might. Y'all get him out of Arrowhead, level the playing field.
But I think they're getting rid of all the excuses this year, so they can't say, "All right, Bryce, we gave you everything. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's time." Like I get coming in first year, learning the plays, but I mean, they making it hard to say offensive line gonna be the issue. Depending on what we do in the draft and the rest of free agency, they're gonna make it hard to say receivers the issue. Tight end, I'm still concerned about a little bit, but I mean, running back, we could do something in the draft there too. Um, I don't know. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. I think we're gonna be sneaky good next year.
Yeah, I think so too. Especially coming off of last season, y'all had your moments. Like I said, a lot of those games that y'all lost could have easily went y'all's way, and that's a few more wins you pick up. So I think that you know, you learn from those situations, you move on, and you become better for it. And I think that in the future, you win those games now. That could get y'all to 8 wins.
Like Minnesota. Look at them the year before last. It was what 11-1 in one score games.
Yeah, they won the most one score games, and as a matter of fact, it was so crazy. They were actually the opponents actually outscored them in all of
Hmm.
those games combined. Like point totals from all those games, they were outscored. But yet they had won, like, was it 10, 11 games, 11 one score games, something like that. They set a record. And they went to the playoffs. They lost to the Giants at home in the first round. And I called it, by the way. I said, once you go in the first round of the playoffs and they lose at home. Because
Hey,
they were winning too many games. They were getting, like, crazy things were happening.
Kirk Cousins is the most paid quarterback there is. And if you go back to it, look at the Indy game. Jeff Saturday, it was up 28-0. 28-0 at halftime. And they came back and won that game in overtime, I think. And it's just like
It's amazing how you can go up that much and still lose, especially in a playoff game.
imagine the Super Bowl. You go up 28-3
Yeah.
in the
And
third quarter. And
Dan Quinn and Kyle Shanahan will forever have that over their heads until they win another Super Bowl.
and now Dan Quindon went to where Cal Shanahan was taught at with young Cal Shanahan as his OC.
Mm-hmm. Funny
But I
how that
don't
stuff works out.
hey. And you know what I was thinking about the other day, and it's crazy. I think I don't know how often you think about this, but it's something I just put in perspective. Just think about with like wrestling and football and everything. Like we grew up with the Brett Favre's, Michael Vick, uh, John Elway's, Peyton Manning's, Tom Brady's, all that. Now we're
Mm-hmm.
watching the Joe Burrows, the
Patrick
Herberts,
Mahomes.
CJ Strauss, Patrick Mahomes. Like we're watching the begin. It's like we're watching the beginning of their careers, all these great careers. Like we're
Mm-hmm.
watching the beginning of all this, like Justin Jefferson. Like we're watching all the beginning of all these great players, and it's just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady's about to be in the booth next year, bro.
Yeah.
Like Tom Brady's about to be in the booth. Like all the stuff is switching
No,
guards from
no,
the players.
Drew Brees got a
I think he's going to the
broadcast
booth
deal
too.
too.
Like all the players we grew up watching are going to the booth. So now we're gonna be in that generation. Like I didn't see Boomer Esiason play. I didn't see Terry Bradshaw play.
Right.
But now in 20 years, we're gonna be like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You ain't never seen Tom Brady play whippersnapper. Like you ain't like
Tom
it's
Brady, Tony Romo in there.
like
Drew Brees about to be in there.
you're gonna have all this, and then the coach. Think about D'Amico Ryan started as a coach.
Mm-hmm.
Cal Shanahan, Sean McVay's 38, 40. Like think about in 30 years. Let's say if he coached 20 more years, well, he about to go to the booth too for Amazon. But think about who's a young coach. A 30, let's say Mike McDaniel. Think about in 30 years with Mike McDaniel.
Mm.
He might be
Yeah.
the Don Shula. Yeah, I mean, it's just we're watching all this kind of stuff happen in front of our face, and it just shows me to appreciate the time, appreciate the present. And
Right.
LeBron, think about LeBron, bro. And how you gonna explain LeBron to somebody in 20 years?
Yeah.
It's gonna be a whole new debate. It's gonna be like Was Shy Gilgeous Alexander better than Braun? Like it's like you don't know who's it gonna be.
I don't know if I go that far. I
I
don't
ain't
know
going
if I
that
see
far. I ain't
that.
gonna say it. I ain't gonna say it.
There's
But
a
think
couple
about who
other
it's gonna
guys I
be.
probably put ahead of him though.
Cause think about watching Kareem play and then watching
Yeah.
his record get beat. And now we're watching LeBron set records. That's why I gotta get to NBA game. I gotta see LeBron play before he retires. That's a goal. I have to see LeBron play in person
Yeah,
before he
I think we
retires.
got at least 2 more seasons after this year of
Yeah.
him playing at the level that he's playing at. Um, yeah, that would be nice because I've never seen LeBron play in person either. So I would like to go and see the Lakers come here to DC or to Charlotte or something like that and get a chance to go out there and get that experience. Whoever he's playing with, like I said, if his son like gets drafted or something, and he ends up switching teams, going elsewhere. So that would be interesting.
So and you see how the transition right there. So NBA, I have not been keeping up. I don't know what's going on. I still hear
I've
SGA's
been
name.
I've been into it pretty heavy. I'm watching the game right now as we podcast. Miami and the Denver Nuggets finals rematch here. We're about midway through the third quarter. Miami's trailing by one.
How
Miami
they
is up
playing?
by one.
They playing
I
good
don't
though.
mind. Oh, they started off a little rough. They came out. They went up. I think they were up 9-6, and then Denver went on like a 15-0 run.
Ooh, I gotta watch it
And
later tonight.
we've been pretty much playing from behind the entire game, but we're back in it now. It's a 1 point game. Bam hit the
Bro,
free throw line currently.
this is the time of basketball I like for, and I'm
Just
glad
tied the game up.
this is like for sports betting for basketball is because now I can kind of fine tune like all right, y'all now everybody playing for something, and especially with
Hmm.
how tight everything. It ain't no you playing for an award, you playing for positioning, you playing for the playoffs, like
Right.
and you see them Lakers how they starting to get it together now. Everything's starting to click for them.
Yeah, AD had a monster game the other night. 20 points, 27 points, 25 rebounds, something like that. He had like 7 steals to go along with that and like 7 assists. I mean, he filled the stat sheet up. And I'm
D'Angelo
telling you,
Russell,
man, when AD is playing like that and LeBron's doing what he's doing, and they get one other guy to come along for the ride
D'Angelo
with them,
Russell
man,
coming, he coming.
they will be a tough out. I know they're like in the play-in spot right now,
Yeah,
but I think if they get into the playoffs, man, I don't see them as being like a number 8 or number 7 seed, kind of like how Miami was last year.
didn't
You know,
LeBron do it
my
last year? They was in the play-in and then they went to the Western Conference Finals.
hmm I
Like
believe
it's
so.
yeah, like
Yeah.
they know what they doing. I don't
Yeah,
gotta.
they got swept when they got there though. They
Yeah,
lost
and
one to
they got
nothing. It was terrible, but they did get there.
so.
I think the West is a little bit better this year than they were last year, though. We got more teams that could potentially be involved, like OKC and Minnesota, who are at the top
But
of the
like,
standings right now.
but like you said, it's that experience. Look at Sacramento. They came in and then they blitzkrieged and that playoff experience. Once you get a little bit like consolidated, you think about it. The Warriors and everybody make it in that experience. The Chris Paul, Steph Curry, all that experience and playing good, consistent basketball comes into play. Like Miami. Miami's just fundamentally good. I mean, it's fundamentals go. Denver and Miami are two fundamentally good teams. It's not like you. It's not all hero ball. It's really when I look at it, it's like fundamental basketball. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, like I say about Jokic, man, when he's passing the ball, he's throwing it right into shots. Like
Mm-hmm.
dudes ain't got to do nothing else. Like he does all the work for him,
Catch and shoot.
sets them up perfectly, and into a layup, into an open three, or open jump shot, whatever it may be. Every time he hands the ball off to somebody or passes off to somebody, they got an open look somewhere.
He reminds me of you in our heyday. I'm sitting in the corner. Hey, hey. It might not go in, but it's gonna look
About to
good
say
going up.
you out there missing threes.
Hey,
Trying-
hey, but when I'm on though. When I'm on, it's on.
Oh
When
my
it's
gosh, what a pass!
when the sprinkler turned on. Hey, but Trigger, see now I'm older now. I
Mm,
realized in basketball, I just need to be the point guard. I just want to play defense and facilitate. And then I want to drift off to my corner. If you need me to, I'm in my race spot. If you need me to hit one when you need it, I'm there. I don't need the ball all game. I'm gonna be ready to go when it's time. But what you gonna get is 46 and a half solid minutes of defense from me, and he ain't getting past. Ain't nobody getting past me. Ain't nobody getting past me. Setting screens, smart plays, clogging the lane, fighting, hustling.
All
That's
right,
where
I
I'm
got
at now. I don't got to score. I don't need to score. I don't want to score. I don't want to score. I just want to facilitate, play ball, play good ball, extra pass. I guess that's I don't know. Getting older and realizing like I don't got to score. But me getting older now too, though, I don't always have to shoot the shot to score. I know how to use my quick first step in my body to get into a lane to get a score, and I've been working on my right hand. I now done added my right hand to my game with dribbling and hey, I'm about to go to adult. Hey, Trick, hey, we started a team, Trick. I'm coming back.
I'm
Brian,
pretty sure it's an adult league around where you, especially
oh
in the
yeah.
area you at. I'm pretty sure it's a
Brian's
bunch
about to
of
get me in
them.
football, and I couldn't do it. Stuff happened, but I'm ready to get back. I want to get active. I don't want to get back in shape, and this is gonna be the only way to get me back in shape is if I get competitive about it. So I got to get competitive about it. So I'm back.
There
I'm
you
coming
go.
back.
Got something to look forward to.
I'm
I hear
coming. I'm
you.
getting some land in Lynchburg. I'm coming up there, Trigger, and
To
I'm
build a gym.
I'm joining the bees. I'm joining bless ballers. I'll start as a water boy on coming off the bench, 2 minutes a game, work my way up, but through practice and injuries, because we old, I'm gonna find my way to the starting line. And once I get there, I ain't leaving.
Okay.
3 championships. That's all I need. All I need is 3 rec league championships, and I'll be happy. That's what my goal is for everybody. Mark it down. I'm standing on for this decade. I want 3 rec championships: pickleball, basketball, football, ping pong, whatever it is. I want 3 rec championships. That's what I'm going for as I get back in shape. Y'all won't see me in ping pong though. I'm a little rusty, but or spades. I take spades. No, spades don't count for that goal because I'm gonna get a couple of those. But yeah, I'm coming back. I'm coming back out of retirement. Be wise.
All right then.
Strictly Sports League is coming spring of 2025. Strictly sports
25.
teams. We're gonna
Like
sponsor
the
our sports teams.
big three with Ice Cube, huh?
Yep. Yeah, we got bike. We got people on bikes. You know, I'm on the bikes too. Lady Ray on the bikes. We got a bike team. We got a basketball team. All I gotta do is put a little patch on your jersey. We'll sponsor it. Put a Strictly Sports patch right there. We'll give you $3 a game. Hey, hey, brother. Hey, brother. That's the advertiser right there.
$3.
$3. They come in handy
It's
over
something. It's
12
something.
games.
It's something.
Hey,
It's something.
brother.
It's
That's some
something.
Gatorade. That's some Gatorade. But yeah, NBA. I'm excited. I got to get back into it. I want to get. It's starting to pick up. So
Yeah.
March Madness.
Yeah. I think March Madness on the horizon. We're going through right now. Everyone's in the conference tournaments. You're trying to get the seeding. Exciting time of year, man. I cannot wait. Cannot wait. It is going to be hectic, But honestly, I gotta say, man, uh, this year might be the first year where I'm looking more forward to the women's tournament than I am the men's.
Hey, hey,
Especially after LSU and South
yeah, South
Carolina, the
Carolina.
game
Yeah.
the other night. Yeah, the brawling. Oh yeah,
Oh
you
yeah.
gotta believe those two teams are gonna see each other again. And hopefully it's in the tournament and like with all the chips on the line. Win or go home. Oh man, I would love to see them go head up against each other.
This is and I agree with what everybody says. There's more superstars in the women's game than it is in the men's game. Like,
Yeah, I think so too.
and it's if you think about it, once LeBrons and all that go away, I mean, some of this transition in women's stars right now is going to help propel that game, and we're going to see that jump again. How it jumped from like the Lisa Leslie and I don't know what the Sue Birds, Deanna Taurasi, like all that. Then they jump the game, and then you're gonna see it jump again. But
Hmm.
I'm worried about these Olympics in Paris. I ain't gonna lie to you. Which teams we going? If they said they come in and playing for real, KD and all them saying they trying to beat them by 30. I'm sorry, we talking about March Madness. We didn't went to the Paris Olympics, but March Madness is coming up. Selection Sunday is this Sunday, I believe.
I think it is.
Um, who you got, Trigger? Who you got coming? Who you got coming? Out of anything?
Well, It's so hard to pick now, man. Like years ago, it used to be like you knew like it would be two or three teams that could win it, and you pick one of those teams, you probably be right about it. But the last several years, man, I mean, you just don't know who's gonna be in the
Don't know.
Final Four anymore. Like Houston, for example, they kind of came out of nowhere. They made the Final Four one year, and now all of a sudden they're like a powerhouse. Um, but I
What you
feel like
say?
every
What you
year,
say a couple episodes? You build that culture, you change it,
yeah,
and you get that
yeah,
winning in there.
yeah,
It becomes
and that's
infectious.
that's what that's what we see with a lot of these teams. It's like these teams that ain't been there before. All of a
Yep.
sudden, they get the right coach in there with the right mentality and the right culture, and then we
Golden State
start to
Warriors.
see a few years later all that stuff try to come to fruition. So yes, that's how it works in college basketball. You don't really see that a whole lot in the NBA because it's always what have you done for me lately? They're constantly always, wanting results from guys, no matter what the team situation is, how experienced you are, how young the team is, how old the team is. Like
Because
if you're
it's
there and you're coaching, that they want you to deliver.
NBA, they getting that
It's just
money. You know,
it's
they
just
getting that money.
different. Yeah, and they get paid the big
They getting that
contracts, so
paid,
I guess
guarantee. Yeah.
they gotta produce results a lot quicker. So I get that. But in college, it's a little different. They sign coaches to these contracts that last years and years. Enough time for them to come in there and change things. And then, like we see teams like Houston, in the Final Four, that come in and create a culture, and they start to show that culture and show the results of that culture by being one of the last teams left in the tournament
Yep.
each year. So I don't know, but like I said, man, it's hard to pick somebody in the men's bracket at least.
Hey, I'm
Um,
excited about Virginia Tech women's team. Hey, hey,
yeah,
they
they've been playing
they
pretty
not hey,
tough,
they balling.
and Tennessee has played LSU. Oh no, South Carolina tough twice now.
Yeah.
They lost on some BS the last game they played. Old girl hit a three at the buzzer that never took the three in her entire career, and South Carolina advanced. Just barely got by Tennessee. They would have lost that game had she missed that shot.
Yeah.
But sometimes that happens in sports. But Tennessee has been right there. So be on the lookout for them. I think they kind of have South Carolina's number a little bit. But they play them tough. Both times I saw them play, they played them tough. So yeah, obviously we want to see what Caitlin Clark does in the tournament because she's going pro next year with Iowa. I think currently right now they were ranked the number 2 team in the nation. Um, Obviously LSU, South Carolina, Notre Dame, um, Stanford, like those are the teams that come to mind when we think about women's basketball. Those are teams that certainly
Yep.
be in it. UConn, I mean, they kind of fell off a little bit because South Carolina, LSU, Caitlin Clark, and Iowa has been getting all the attention. But don't count out Gino. Paige Buchers has been balling. Um, but yeah, I'm really going to be focused a lot on the women's tournament this year more than I have been in the past. I really want to see what happens there. Now, obviously, I think the national champion will probably be South Carolina more than likely. If they do get upset, it might be a LSU that dethrones them.
Yeah.
It might be a Iowa. It might be Notre Dame, one of those teams, Tennessee even because they've
Yeah.
been close twice now. If they run up against LSU in the tournament, no, I'm sorry. If they run up against South Carolina in the tournament, third time might be a charm. So just remember, might have heard it here first. Tennessee might upset them in the tournament.
Trigger said it
But yeah,
first.
it's a few teams in there, man, that I'm interested in looking at, and I feel like the women's can have just as many surprises as the men, as far as teams that could potentially get upset by another team that we had no idea about, or a team that probably shouldn't even be going past around the 32 or the Sweet 16 or anything like that. It's always going to be one or two of them, especially in the men's tournament.
Yeah.
It's just
You
a
want to,
matter of who those teams going to be.
especially in the men's, you want to know something? The storyline is making me mad this year. Honestly, not it wasn't making me mad till recently. Everybody getting on Bronny James, and it's just like this man heart stopped playing basketball. Like it ain't no hamstring, it ain't no ACL. The man's heart stopped, and
Yeah,
he's trying to get back into the mode of being able to attack it 100. Like I can see his game and all that kind of. I can see it. I know he got game, and he's more of a. And that's why I say as I got older, Bronny looks at the game like he's LeBron's son. Like I don't have to score every single point. I can go out here and hit critical shots, facilitate, take the ball, play good defense, and do
Mhm.
everything. Bronny's not gonna be the one that's gonna give you 40 points and all that kind of stuff, even though I think he has the ability to. But he doesn't have to do that because he understands the game of basketball. And I just hate that people give him so much grief because he's not playing like they want him to play. And I'm just like, man, give him some grace. This man's 18 years old and was almost not here. Like, let's give him some time to get his feet under him, experience college. And I just heard what you were saying. Like, these teams come in and expect these 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds to be able to be key contributors to Fortune 500, Fortune 10, let's say Fortune 30 companies, because y'all are billion-dollar entities that they're the face of, and learning how to handle money and handle fame and handle life and responsibilities while also being able to go and play the game I've played up my whole life growing in love, but dealing with all the scrutiny and pressure that comes with it. And I just think it's crazy for us sometimes as fans, but it's also
It's a
warranted because
little,
of how much we pay for it. So
it's a little unfair for Ronnie, honestly. I feel the same way you feel about him, man. It's like, yeah, he had a very much, life-threatening condition,
yeah,
take place. He could have easily not been here.
yeah,
And I think the fact that he's LeBron James' son, he just, for whatever reason, he comes up under a different,
microscope.
right, exactly. And I think a lot of people are putting these expectations on him because that's what they got from his dad. His dad was probably the only high school basketball player that got hyped up the way that he did and actually lived up to the hype, surpassed the hype, and it's
Mm,
still and
don't do Kobe like that. Don't do Kobe like that.
it's still
RP
not.
to Kobe.
I mean, no. I'm not saying Kobe and other guys who came out of high school didn't live up to either. I'm
RP
just saying
Kobe.
LeBron did. Like
Yeah,
his whole
LeBron
thing
was on the
about
magazines, the
this
social
whole
media.
the whole thing
Yeah,
about him being the chosen one
yeah.
and being the next guy. He was the first overall draft pick in 2003. Like he lived up to those expectations and exceeded them, like with
Mhm.
flying colors. Like there's no question about that. So, and not only has he done that, he's clipped, pretty much been absolutely flawless in terms of like getting in trouble, like not, being caught on the wrong end of the news, not bringing any kind of embarrassment to any team he's played for or shame to them by doing something off the court that has
Right.
been costly or harmful to his team or his family's reputation. Like all these things, he's done, and he's a leading all-time leading scorer in the NBA. 40,000 plus points and still counting. And like he got his son coming up who looks just like him, you know, got a little bit of, his dad's game to him and his athleticism. I don't think they're the same players.
No.
His dad was that age. But again, because of whose son he is and because of the expectations we had of LeBron James and how well he has exceeded those expectations and conducted himself while doing so, we just tend to naturally put the same expectations on the children. And we've seen other star athletes' children come behind them and not quite be able to live up to the expectation of their superstar, father. The example that comes to mind right away is Michael Jordan's kids.
Yeah.
Like his sons wouldn't play basketball, but they weren't nearly as good in college or, put up the numbers that we saw their dad do when their dad was in the
Hey, Marcus got an MVP in the shade. He
yeah,
got an
but
MVP in the shade room, bro. But
none
not
of
in the
them made
basketball court. UCF,
none
nope.
none of them made it to the league, and that's what I'm getting at. So it's hard. Scottie Pippen's got a son that plays. Um, but obviously they don't live up to. He doesn't live up to what his dad did in the
It's
NBA.
like football. Not a lot of players in football live up to like their dad's name. I think the
They
ones that will
don't,
be
but I think they
closest is
have a better
Shador and
time.
Shiloh.
I think it'd be an easier time for a football player to live up to their family than basketball for whatever reasons.
Yeah.
I feel like Patrick Surtain, for instance, like his dad played, but I feel like Patrick Surtain might have been better than his dad. If
Ooh.
he keeps going on the trajectory,
Ooh.
if he keeps going
Ooh.
on the trajectory that he's going on,
Ooh.
if he keeps going on the trajectory that he's going on, he might end up being better than what his dad did.
But then his dad played for the Patriots.
I believe so.
He got championships though. You gotta get some
Yeah.
championships. But look at
Yeah.
you right because look at JC and his dad.
Hmm.
JC's dad was a receiver, so you don't really have
Yeah,
The
you can't.
pressure to live up to, but JC's a
Yeah,
dog. But then you can
and
see
that's
like,
another thing too about football too. Like a lot of these players, they play different positions than what their
yeah,
dad played too. So like the pressure to perform in that position is not as great. Whereas
yeah,
basketball, everyone's pretty much you're doing the same thing. You're playing offense, you're playing defense. If your dad was a scorer, they're looking at you like, all right, you got to
yeah.
we looking at you to drop buckets, like. So it's different when in the NFL
Hey,
if your dad was a star receiver and then you're a star cornerback.
hey, you got Jerry Rice's son coming out this year, and you want to know somebody else who look like their dad coming out this year? Jeremiah Trotter Jr. The way he was in his stance one day, I was looking at him I'm like, yo, you look just like your dad. Like, I don't know. You got Joey Porter Jr., Asante Samuel Jr. So it's
Hmm.
wait till you get the quarter. Yeah, Arch Manning coming. That's nephew, but
Yeah,
it's who else coming out this year? Uh, is Frank Gore's son in the league,
I
or is he
believe
coming out
so.
this?
I think
He
he's
coming out
coming
this year.
out. I think he's coming out.
It's getting look now. We in that time too, Trigger. We watching the sons of players we grew up watching going to the league.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I was thinking about this.
All
Think
right.
about it.
The way you can tell me I'm old right there watching the sons of guys I grew up watching play.
Yeah. Hey, Elijah's 6 years away from being in the 6 years away. He graduate 2030 high school.
Start training them up now.
Hey, he want to play soccer. I'm trying to get him in basketball. I think he ready. He got
Hey,
the
soccer
toughness for it.
players make money though. It's like
All over the world.
playing soccer or baseball. That's what the sport you want to be in. That's
All
playing
over
the
the
hard
world.
money. That's
Golf.
where all the money is.
Golf. Go to golf, son. You play that for your whole life.
Yep, yep.
But
Golf is a sport you can play into your 80s and 90s.
look at Charlie. Charlie out here about to be playing on the pro am.
Hmm. He gonna get there. He gonna be on tour one day.
Oh yeah, I
I
think he
know
gonna
he
be
didn't
there faster than
qualify.
his dad.
I know he didn't qualify in that tournament a while back, but he's gonna be on tour one day.
Yeah,
I
he
mean, you can
close.
see it.
Yeah.
So is John Daly's son. Little John. He's pretty good too. And these
But
sons are golfers that we watch play, man. But yeah, they up and coming. They up next.
and going back to what we were saying too, think about this. Lee Corso is leaving college game day, and Nick Saban, one of the greatest coaches that we've watched, is going like he's taking like all that stuff is changing in front of the guard is changing in front of our face. Like
Hmm.
it's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
Yep.
Well, Trigger, we didn't get to spring training. I haven't been watching spring training. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Well, the only thing I can say about baseball, I'll talk about my Yankees. We lost out on Dylan Cease, which was the ace pitcher for the White Sox. So Garrett Cole has an issue with his throwing elbow. The Yankees have shut him down for the rest of spring training, and then from the way they're talking, it looks like we might be without him to start the season. And right
Ooh.
now, the injuries have already started before the season because that's been the Yankees' issues the last 2 years. Right, guys can't stay healthy.
Is it the
Guys
training
can't stay
staff?
in the lineup. I'm starting to think so, but like guys just can't stay healthy. Our pitchers, we got 3 pitchers in our lineup right now that got very detailed injury histories. And they're healthy right now, but are they going to stay healthy? Because they got a track record of not being healthy. And that's Carlos Rodon, um, Nestor Cortez, who was injured all of last year pretty much. Um, and you can even throw Marcus Stroman in there. He's in and out of lineups too, based off his history, I believe. But now Garrett Cole, our ace, our number one pitcher, is possibly going down. So the Yankees have been active in trying to go acquire Dylan Cease from the White Sox. There was rumors about the Yankees trying to get him earlier in the offseason, and the White Sox, they wanted certain guys, and the Yankees were not willing to give up. The biggest prospect was Spencer Jones, who is another Aaron Judge, pretty much. I mean, this dude is huge, and he has mad potential. And I can understand why the Yankees didn't want to come off him for a starting pitcher. I get that. So kudos to them for sticking to their guns and keeping him. I like the kid. I've seen what he's done a little bit in the preseason, and he has potential to be another Aaron Judge. Um, Obviously, Soto has been lights out with the Yankees. He's hitting like 500. He has like 4 home runs. He's been absolutely electric. I just hope it carries over to the regular season. But having Aaron Judge hit behind him is going to be a freaking pipe. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. These guys come to Baltimore twice, two different series this year. They come to DC. I'm trying to go see them every time they come close.
Let's
I,
go.
I,
I
I
want to take the
really want
kids.
to see. I want to see Soto and Judge hit behind one another, man. I'm really excited about that.
Roman and Sheamus just came
But
from baseball
the
practice, and
pitching,
Elijah likes squirrels.
I worry about the pitching because now our star pitcher is hurt, and they try to make a move for Dylan Cease, and unfortunately, the San Diego Padres traded for him, and now Dylan Cease is no longer White Sox; he's now in San Diego. So Yankees' only options they have left, they had a rumor to trade for Corbin
Ooh.
Burns. He ends up in Baltimore. They try to go after Dylan Cease. He ends up in San Diego. The only options down there available that would be any quality are Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery, who are both free agents. The issue that the Yankees are running into is that salary cap. Well, not salary cap, but the money somehow. If they sign Blake Snell or Jordan Montgomery, in the long term, it would hurt them. And I'd say at this point, like the Dallas Cowboys, man, if y'all really want to win, y'all really need another ace, especially now that our main guy, we don't know what the timetable is going to be on him. The
Yeah,
season starts in a few weeks, a couple weeks.
yeah.
I don't know if he's going to be ready by then, but you got to go and get somebody at this
I would
point.
even let him maybe just hey, if we can get somebody, just take your time. It's the beginning of the season. It's baseball, so you can ramp up when we get to the summertime and all that kind of stuff and save your arm a little bit for the playoffs. So I think y'all may want to go sign somebody.
Yeah, go get Blake Snell or Jordan Montgomery and bring them in. Man, you got to at this point. I think this might force their hand because Garrett Cole's not healthy now. It's almost like with the Cowboys, when they lost Tony Pollard, you would think it would force their hand to that, okay, we got to go get one of these running backs off the market. And
Would
they
you
didn't.
take would you take the PR hit of a Trevor Bauer?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Why not? He never got convicted of anything.
That's what I say.
Nothing ever happened.
I
So
mean, there
what?
was some rough in the messages, and the messages it was rough, but
It's a little bad press, but it seems like he's got his head on his shoulders. He's come out. He's done interviews. He said he will take the veterans minimum. You ain't got to pay him. Let me come in and do my thing. If you're not happy, cut me. He said that. Like go out there and see what you got with them. You might as well at this point. You got an excuse to. He's gonna come cheaper than Snell, and he's gonna come cheaper than Montgomery. Way cheaper than both of them. So why not take a chance on him?
yeah. I mean, like you said, is and if it don't work out, trade him.
Yeah, if it don't work out, you can cut him. You can get rid of him, whatever you want. But you know, I would love to take a shot on him. He already said he would love to come in and be a Yankee. I know him and Garrett Cole have had beef in the past, but he said he's willing to put that on the table. He's willing to squash that and come in and do what he needs to do business. And you know, hey,
I'm sorry, everybody. Trying to get some fuel in, but I was watching baseball today, and it seemed like all the scores were like 11-12. I think one game was like 19-11. And it's just like hey, everybody's scoring in spring training right now.
yeah, and I know it's not to be taken this seriously. That's why I'm not trying to get too hype over what I've seen from Soto, and even Marcus Stroman has had a
Yeah,
couple good outings pitching. Um, so so yeah, I mean, I like what I see. You know, from some of the guys, from some of our new additions, and I'm just hoping that it carries over into the regular season. But yeah, the whole Garrett Cole news, it really worries me. I know the Yankees tried to go get Cease. They tried to go get Corbin Burns. They struck out on both of those, no pun intended. Um, but like I said, you got Jordan Montgomery who's still out there, Blake Snell who's out there, and if you want to go the cheap route, you possibly have to stomach some bad PR for a little bit. Trevor Bauer's out there. Um, Like I said, you got an excuse to go out and get one of these guys now that Garrett Cole's not healthy. So I think they need to go kick the tires on them and see what they can do before the season gets started here. Shortly.
They gotta do something this year. I feel for the Yankees.
Yeah, well, we definitely got better as far as our hitting goes because we got Soto. I mean, he alone is going to do wonders to our offense. Especially now with Judge hitting behind him, like you can't intentionally walk him. That takes that off the table. So yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. As long as those two are in the lineup, Stanton has slimmed down. Hopefully that helps him play better and he can stay injury free because he's another guy who plays half the season every year. So
That's what I was about to say.
He slimmed down. He's lost some weight. So hopefully that makes him a little bit more injury free and he can stay in the lineup a little bit longer.
I was thinking of
we
Soto
got
as Stanton.
yeah, we got Soto, Judge, Stanton, Rizzo. These dudes can hit. These are our power hitters, man. You're hitting one after another. I mean, like I said, teams can't intentionally walk Judge. They can't intentionally walk Soto. You asking for trouble this year.
I think we need to get to Yankee
on base,
Stadium.
man.
I think we need to go to Yankee Stadium and watch a Red Sox Yankees game.
I would love to go out there to Yankee Stadium one time and see a game. I just don't know if I can handle New York, man.
Oh,
With the people and the traffic and just
you don't drive in New York, Trigga. You get on the subway. I don't know why you worry
yeah,
about driving.
I know you get on the subway, but still,
I ain't worried about driving.
there's people everywhere, man. It's craziness. I've talked to people who've been out there, and it's a madhouse if you don't know where you're going, especially. So yeah. But I would love to get up there and one of these days and go see a game at the actual stadium rather than work for the Yankees to come to Baltimore or DC.
Yeah. Hey, we going in May. Me and Katie, and I like New York, man. It's a lot. It is a lot, but last time we walked the whole Central Park. It was May. Like I'm going this time. It was warm. It was beautiful. It was just. Excuse me. I'm sorry. It was. I can see why, but then, like you say, once you get out there,
Yeah,
you
I'm
like,
sure it'll be a great
excuse me,
experience.
excuse me.
I just got It's just I'm used to being out in the country where things are a little bit slower, things a little more wide open. I get nervous going into these cities, man. I get nervous driving in DC, driving in Baltimore.
Oh,
Like I always leave early. You have to
yeah.
drive around and find parking and stuff and get situated before you can actually go and do whatever it is you came there to do. So
You just an
yeah,
old man now.
I've been like that a long time.
Well, Trigger, what's your final words? I'm getting attacked. Huh?
Oh, you got to share.
Nothing. I ain't eating nothing. You say hi.
Hi, Ava.
All right. I love you. Go find mama. Yeah. I'll give you a French fry. You gotta go and close the door. Ava, I'm trying to shoot a podcast.
Miami is currently coming to this game on a 3-game losing streak. We lost to the Washington
go.
Wizards.
Close the door. The Wizards.
Couple
God,
nights
Trigger.
They lost to the Wizards a couple nights ago.
Hey, are you think the Wizards are looking at that Jordan Poole contract and like this was a mistake?
Yeah, I think they're already thinking that. But who's gonna take it?
Nobody.
Who's gonna take it?
Who's gonna love you like me?
That was a huge disappointment. He had a chance. Like we seen flashes of him in Golden State and what he could do. Playing behind Steph and Clay. Being a third option, scoring the ball. And we saw what he did when they were out, when he was their main option. He came in and he lit it up, and he had a chance to go to DC and be the man. And now he did. Not only is he not the man, he's coming off the bench.
Let me ask you one more question before we get out of here. Like football, how much in basketball is it scheme too? Like it's different kind of offenses and stuff. How much in basketball is it? Everybody's like, oh, you got this player. Like big threes should come together and work together. Like basketball, people don't understand basketball is the same thing. You got to have strategy. You got to have technique. You got to have. Is it the same way as in football? Would you say in that sense? Like you can't just put every player into every offense.
Yeah, I think football is a little bit more complex because so many different positions.
Yeah,
You basically
yeah,
got three different teams playing in one. Special teams, offense,
yep.
defense. Basketball, you do. There is some scheming involved. Obviously, I think there's you know, it depends on your personnel,
Because it's
and
not
what
like
you want to do.
football. Like, because if you can give me 20 points in basketball, but you're a liability on defense, like
Yeah,
you got to outweigh. Like it's football. If you're a liability, I can hide it and mask it because it's 11 other players. Basketball, if one person is not holding their weight or just getting beat, it messes up the whole feng shui flow.
yeah, yeah. But with basketball, man, like some people, depending on what you want to do, offensively, defensively, you got certain players to try to fit those roles. If you got a lot of bigs on your team, obviously that affects how you play offense. You want to go more in the paint, play inside like the Nuggets are doing to the Heat right now. If you're smaller, you want to stretch the floor. You got shooters that also determines what you run offensively and how you run your sets. Um, it's all about what certain players can do, basically, and then you just playing off of that. Like if you got guys out there who can shoot, then you're gonna stretch the floor and create driving lanes. And the defense got to respect it because people can shoot. You got guys that can't shoot as a defense. What are you doing? You packing the lane because you're daring them to shoot. They ain't coming in here where it's gonna be easy for them. We're gonna force them to make shots from outside. So you got that going. So it just depends on the players and their strengths and the coaches trying to find the best fit to get them to play to their strengths.
So is that why that young Thunder's team was so good? Because you had Russ who could attack the basket, and then James Harden and KD who can score when
And
they want to
KD was a
score.
guy who could score. You got Russ who could drive and attack, and pass. James Harden coming in, he came off the bench on that team
Yep.
actually,
Hmm.
and kind of fill in and give the offense that the team needs. Um, I mean, like I say, man, it just depends on the players and what they can do and what their strengths are, and then the coach just figuring out a way to maximize what he has.
Like Eric Spoelstra,
hmm
who comes
The,
through every
one
year.
of one of the best in the league at making something out of nothing.
Well, Trigger, your final thoughts, your final words.
The Philadelphia Eagles might have the best front office in all of sports.
Besides the
Uh,
Carolina Panthers.
yeah, maybe. Philadelphia Eagles have the best front office in all of sports. The Dallas Cowboys will probably win somewhere between 7 and 10 games next season. Probably on the low end of that. Um, I don't like our prospects right now as presently constructed. I don't believe in what we're doing, but that could all change based off of who we draft. And there's still some free agents out there that we could sign that could possibly come in and make a difference. I don't know, but I think Dallas missed their window, man. And Jerry Jones always talk about spending money to win another Lombardi, but when it comes down to spending money on those players to win those Lombardis, or at least get them to the NFC Championship, he claimed that it's too much. $4 million a year for a running back is too much. What? All right. Well, yeah, that pretty much serves that you clearly want to go and draft a running back where you got to pay him $4 million. So that's
Hey,
what they're gonna do.
hey, when you 3 million over the cap, it might be it might be a little too much, dude.
But again, the teams that I named that were over the cap still went out and
the
signed
Saints, but you
current
end up
guys.
like the Saints though, because then you sign 35-year-olds to extensions and all that kind of stuff because you keep trying to finagle your cap.
Well, and I'm fine with that because again, Jerry talked about his mortality. Well, damn the future. Go all out now. Get in trouble now. Let your son figure it out in a few years when you finally step
So you
down or
want
you
your
no
one
longer
Super
around.
Bowl and take 10 years to fix the team from that one year, like the
Yes,
Rams are
because
doing.
we'll at least have a Super Bowl, added to us. rather
That's what the
than
Rams did, and they luckily they
rather
had
than
picks.
we will at least have a Super Bowl rather than going out and not doing anything again for the next couple of years and then rebuilding and not winning still. Like, I'd rather go all out, win a Super Bowl now, and then next 5 seasons, sure, we can rebuild and, redo the cap and do what we need to do to get the money back right again.
The Chargers they went all in, and it did not work out. And now they are everybody. I think
Well,
I
at
think
least
NFL you retool.
if they
You,
go all in, and it doesn't work out, then okay, fine. At least y'all tried.
yeah, you still the Cowboys. I mean,
Yeah.
you're not like you gonna go all in and it don't work out, and then
Now we got no choice but to rebuild and redo it and get the cap back right again. Do what we need to do to get the cap straight.
and why wouldn't you want to do that with a quarterback coming off the books? Like I see what you're saying, but hey, maybe y'all again. It's the Cowboys, so you don't got to do much, and y'all gonna go 8, 10 games.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, hey, I'm changing my prediction. My realistic prediction: Carolina 8 wins, depending on what we do with 33 and 39. Um, yeah, I can't wait for football. New year, happy new league year, everybody. The 2024 season has officially begun. It's time to get into basketball. It's time to get into baseball. It's time to get into USFL. We got to start talking about the USFL. We got spring football coming. We got spring games. We got pro days going on that we haven't started even talking about. So, it's what a time to be a sports fan.
Yeah,
But
we got a lot of stuff coming up.
a lot. NASCAR, uh, WrestleMania. The Rock got smacked in the face.
Yes, that was a fire segment, by the way.
Yeah, he got smacked in the face.
But yeah, it's pretty hot right now. The rest of the world's on fire. The Rock is also rumored to still be around after Mania as well. He will still be making appearances and stuff like that, which indicates to me that this story that they got going on is not going to end at WrestleMania.
Because
There's
he
going to
got to
be some more
promote.
to it.
He got to promote Hobbs movie, and he got to promote the new Fast and Furious movie. Come on, Trigger. The Rock know what he doing. The Rock
It's
know what he
true.
doing.
I guess so, but he ain't said nothing about any of the movies since he's been back. It's just been strictly wrestling. So
He don't gotta say nothing. He just gonna be. You gonna be like,
they
oh,
ain't
I just watch him
show
wrestling.
they ain't show no commercials, no snippets of the movies, or nothing.
They smart.
Rock the type of superstar now, man. The movies just sell themselves. He ain't even got to go and publicize and like make a big deal about it. Like people know, like oh, it's the
Yeah.
Rock. I mean, he just the body of work that he has in Hollywood speaks for itself. I mean, he put everything he does, it sells itself now.
I would say that Trigger, and I hear what you're saying, and that's facts. But he showed up to Boulder, Colorado last year. Everybody was showing up to Boulder, Colorado last year. Ain't nobody showed up to Boulder, Colorado before last year.
Yeah,
And ain't nobody show up to Jackson State for real like that except for
that
Wallow and Gilly.
we already know why that was the case.
And now with this year, if they actually, hey, if Prime got it turned around, let them sneak into one of those 12 spots in the playoffs.
Miami Heat just went 0-2 against the Nuggets this season.
Are they lost?
Yeah, not double digits.
Trigger, I just looked at
Sad.
that game and they weren't that bad.
They were close. They were up. They were going back and forth, and then the Nuggets went
Ooh.
up and just stayed up. And I'm telling you, man, this team's just not big enough, man.
The
They're not big
Pacers,
enough. These
the
these guys are so much bigger than we are. They're shooting over top of us, dominating us in the post. Ain't nothing we could do.
Pacers beating the Bill. I mean, the Bulls are beating the Pacers. Hornets are beating the Grizzlies.
The only good thing about this game is Miami. Both times Miami played against the Nuggets, they held them to 104 points and 100 points.
That's
So
good.
defensively, they've done all right. They just can't fucking score.
I can hear you, Trigger. I'll be right back.
No, you good. I wasn't going to a whole rant about it, but we just ain't got no scoring. Like we got too many times during the game where we just go over because nobody can put the ball in the basket. It's like in the first quarter, we were up 9-6, and we let them go on a 15 to nothing run. We missed like 7 straight shots. Like, can we get somebody out there that can just put the ball in the bat? Like Tyler Hero can shoot, but he ain't been available all year. And what is going on with Tyler Hero all of a sudden when he's not playing? He got some issue with his foot now. I'm gonna just keep him off until the playoffs start. At this point, ain't no need in bringing him back. Damn, Miami makes me so mad the way they be giving away games like this, man.
Hey, you gotta let her hate him, Trigger. Gotta let her hate him.
The Yankees let Dylan Cease get away, and now Miami done dropped the game to Denver.
The Cavaliers are destroying the
And the
Pelicans right
Cowboys
now.
ain't doing nothing to free agents.
They about to be up by 30.
100. Miami only scored 88 points. What is this, the 1990s? 88 points in the game.
Hey, Miami 1 or 2 drafts away, big dog.
Did you see the game between the Knicks and the Sixers the other night? That game ended. The final score was like 79-73.
Dang, that's an old school college game.
It was the first time since what they said 2016 that a game ended where both teams scored less than 80 points.
Was it good defense or bad play?
It was. I mean, neither team could hit any of that. I think they were both shooting like 20% from the field. But I wasn't seeing no excellent defense that was causing those missed shots. I mean, there was possessions of good defense, but I think it was just bad offense for both teams. But yeah, it was yeah. When I saw the score, I thought it was the third quarter. The game was about to be over with. It sure enough came in, man.
I thought it was the third quarter.
I did. I saw the score. I was like, oh, this is the third quarter because it was like 75, like 73 or something like that. I looked, it was like 2 minutes left in the fourth. I was like, I know that's got to be a glitch, a typo or something. Ain't no way. Yo, Jokic only had 12 points and the Nuggets won by 12.
Bam was shutting him down.
Bam had 17 and 13. Rozier had 14. Jimmy had 15. It's just not enough, man. Nobody scored over 20 for Miami.
Where Yami Yakas?
He didn't do anything, I don't think. Maybe a couple buckets. I didn't see him score.
We need him out there. We need him out there.
He was out there. He came off the bench.
No, he got to start.
He should be starting. I don't know why Tyler Hero's not playing. Why is he not starting?
Is he coming off the bench or is he hurt?
He's hurt. He got something going on with his foot.
Gotta go, Trigger. He gotta go. He gotta go.
He's literally been out the whole season.
He gotta go, Trigger. I can't do it, man.
He started off strong, though. He came in. He literally was averaging like 25 a game, like the first 15 games of the season. Then he got hurt. He hurt his ankle. It was out like a month. Came back, played a few more games, did okay, and then he was out again. He's been out ever since. Like he was supposed to come back weeks ago, but he's still out. I don't understand.
You think he don't want to play ball? You think it's mental?
I don't know, but we need him because he's one of the guys who can come in and give us instant offense. Nobody else can do that. But Hawkins had 8 points, 2 rebounds.
Yeah, we need more than that. We need more than 8.
28 minutes. So he played out of all the guys.
That's a lot of minutes too.
Yeah, out of all the guys on the bench, he played the most minutes. He only had 8 points. 0 for 1 from 3-point range, 2 for 6 from the field overall, 2 rebounds, no assists, 8 points. Leading scorer for Miami was Bam Adebayo with 17 points, 13 rebounds. He had a double-double. Bam also hit a 3 in this game.
Hey.
Terry Rozier, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 0 for 3 from 3-point range, 6 of 13 from the field. It's not bad. It's a little over 50%.
Is the lack of 3-point shooting going to hurt Miami?
Yeah, they were 23% from 3, 5 for 21 overall for 3-point range tonight, while the Nuggets were 11 for 33, not much better, but it's higher than what we shot.
So if you think about it, they hit all those shots.
However, Nuggets shot 48 or 49% from the field, while Miami shot 42% from the field.
So if the Nuggets is hitting, Miami lucky the Nuggets don't hit their shot, it would have been a blowout.
Yeah, but like I said, like the defensive effort in the second half was pretty good, but they just pulled away late. Like I said, they held the Nuggets to 100 points, which is not a lot in today's game. And the first
Yeah,
time we played them, they held them to 104 points, which again, not a lot of points in today's game. But both of these games that Miami played against Denver, they scored under 100 points both times. They scored 96 the first game, and they scored 88 in this one.
the Trigger Miami got to score 100 points. That's what we need against. They gonna have to score 100 points.
Well, that's
they,
what I'm
they,
saying. They got nobody to put the ball in the rim when we need to. Like it's several points during the game where they go stretches. They can't score. And it
is it that
happened
they slow the
early in the
game
game
down
tonight. It
and
happened
then they're
early
not?
in the game tonight. Like they were up 9-6. And the Nuggets went on a 15-0 run. I think Miami missed like 7 shots in a row. Like they just have stretches where they do that. They just can't hit a bucket. Like nobody can hit a bucket. And it kills us because it comes back later in games and it hurts us. I think if we hit 4 or 5 of those shots, man, we got a different result here. But they go way too many times throughout the game, man, where they can't score. And everybody talking about Miami being this team that's, oh, we got to watch out for Miami. They scared. They're going to be better this year than they were last year and all this stuff. I'm like, what team do y'all be watching when y'all watch this team play? Like every time I watch Miami play, they play good defense, but on offense, man, they just don't have it. I mean, it's just not consistent enough. They have
Yeah,
way too many games this season where they don't even top 100 points. It's not going to cut it. You got too many teams scoring, 120 points a game, 115 points a game, and we're not even cracking 100. We scored 88 points tonight. Nobody on our roster had more than 20 points. Like, come
but
on, guys. Like, at some point, Pat Riley, somebody's got to find. We got to go get somebody that can put the ball in the basket. And I know Jimmy Butler, he like to morph into a superstar scorer come playoff time. But I think when he does that, man, he really burns himself out. And he
yeah,
does all the scoring. We don't have anybody else to come in and back him up. That's what Tyler Hero is supposed to come in at. But I don't know with his health now. He's barely available for games. Is he really going to be effective come postseason time when it's time for him to step up? I hope so. But then
he
again,
gonna
I think
have to be.
we're
He
gonna
want
need a
that
lot
contract.
more. I think we're gonna need a lot more than Jimmy and Tyler Hero scoring buckets. We're gonna have to get somebody else. Rozier's gonna have to come along and start averaging 20 like he was in Charlotte. Bam Adebayo, I'm gonna need 20 and 10 from him on a nightly basis in the playoffs. Like it's got to happen
If
for us
you
to
can
go
get,
somewhere.
if you can think about it, Terry can give you 15, Bam can give you 20, Jimmy give you 20, Tyler Hero give you 20, and the rookie give you 15. Where you at? That's 20,
We
40,
over
60,
100. We over 100. I know that much.
30. So you had
But
90. Yeah, somebody
if
give you
we
10.
scoring if we scoring under 100 points every game, we're probably gonna lose.
Yeah,
We're probably gonna lose.
yeah.
Like even the Wizards game, like we gave up 110 points to that team.
They got some shooters on there.
Still, man, they at the bottom of the league. They won 10 games all year. Them in Detroit.
Well, I think you've said it before. Miami plays to their competition at
I don't
times.
know about that because they had a chance tonight with the Nuggets and it fell apart. Not enough scoring. I think the defense is fine. We hold that team to 100 points. We should be beating them. It's the second time we hold them 100 points and hold them to 104 points. We should be winning those games. But
But you got
yet
to
we
score.
we under 100 points when we play in. We hold them to 100, but we can't get to 100. So we 0-2 as a result against the Denver Nuggets.
Brandon Miller would have been good in Miami.
Yeah, I know that was a first round draft pick for the Hornets. And ain't no way they were gonna come off of him in that trade with Kyle Lowry. I think
Hey,
Terry Rozier could be that guy. I think he's still trying to find his way, and I think he's
trying
been
to find
playing
his
a
footing.
lot better than when he first showed up. Because he's starting to average. He's scoring around somewhere between 15, and like 18 points a game since he's on this latest stretch. But that was the fourth straight loss for Miami. They came into this game tonight. They already lost 3 in a row, and that's number 4. We had a 7-game losing streak earlier this season, and I didn't think they would come close to doing that again, but here we are, and late in the season when they shouldn't be. We
You
should
think they
pretty
take
much
games
be
off?
together. I feel like every team does at some point, but it's hard to say that they do because they still play defense. It's not like these teams are scoring. Like the Washington Wizards was the only team that scored the most points against us in the stretch
But
that we played. Like Miami's been holding these teams to around 100 points.
but
The
you know, in
Wizards are the only
Miami,
team that scored more.
everybody they got is defense in there. They gonna play. They can walk out there and play defense better than some teams in this NBA. So
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that defense is giving them a chance, but they just can't offensively. They can't score.
Drew
Like on
Holiday would have been
this
a good
losing
point guard.
streak, this losing streak that we've been on. Like I said, we've held these teams to around 100 points. Nobody scored more than 105 points other than the Washington Wizards. They scored 110. But Miami has held these teams around 100. The fact is, Miami can't get to 100.
They needed
But
Dame.
Drew Holiday, yes, I 100% agree. I wish we would have went and got Drew Holiday when the Dame trade fell through.
I wish y'all got Dame. I wish we got
That was a
Dame.
great pickup for Boston.
Dame
That
would
was
have
a
been a
great
good
pickup
pickup.
for Boston.
Dame getting you
I
the
wish we
points you
would have
need.
got Dame Lillard. Exactly. We would have been scoring. We've been averaging at least 110, 115 points a game with Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
We don't get much defense from him, but he's going to score. If we need somebody to put the ball in the basket, he's going to do that.
But all you
That's
really
what
need,
we
hey,
needed.
hey Dame, get us up by 15. We'll put the defense in. We'll put the
Yeah,
defense
that's what we needed. We needed a solid with scorers, straight
in. Yeah.
scorers. Somebody who could go out and get a bucket at any given time. From 3-point range, from in the paint, he can shoot free throws late when he gets fouled. All that. We don't have that player on Miami. We don't have that guy this is the guy right here that's gonna go out and get one anytime he wants. I feel like Jimmy could be that player, but Jimmy, he tries so hard to get
He got to
everybody
do
else involved.
everything because you got Jimmy play defense too. So it's
And he
like
plays
Jimmy.
defense, so it's like
Like,
you kind of take yourself, you take a little bit out of yourself, trying to play offense by playing as hard as you do on the defensive
yeah.
end. So it's almost a given, a guy, a two-way player like that is not going to be able to sustain an offensive load, being the only guy that can score, and he ain't got nobody around him that can get buckets. He has to go out and score 50 in the first round against Milwaukee,
Yeah.
56 points, I think it was, and then go and defend, Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday. Like,
Yeah. He need like a
it's not
DeMarcus
sustainable.
Cousins, a young DeMarcus Cousins type, just a mean, nasty big man who just
And I think Bam's a great defender. He's just undersized.
yeah.
Trying to go up against Giannis and Embiid, Joker. He's a
Porzingis.
great defender, but Porzingis. But he's just not big enough to contend with these guys,
You got
man.
to see all of them. Lopez. You gonna have to see all. You gonna see all of them.
All these dudes are bigger than Bam. Bam is not a center. He plays the center position, but he's the height of he's a power forward. He's a power forward. Miami does not have a legit center. You got
Yeah.
Thomas Bryant, who isn't half the player that Bam is. He come in and get rebounds and play defense, but he's not a scorer. He's not a guy that's gonna come in and do what Bam does. Just enough to get Bam some rest so that Bam can get back out there and do what he does. So, but
It's a tough one. I got to get back into it. Well, all right, everybody. This has been Strictly Sports. I'm B Wise,
and this your boy Trigga.
and we will catch y'all next time. Peace. Thank you.